The original QK65 launched the Povertykeys brand that we know and love today, and 2 years later, we have an update to their flagship offering, the QK65 V2. And I'm going to call this now that this is probably going to be one of the more popular, if not most popular, enthusiast level 65% boards that are coming in 2024. Especially coming off the back of the Neo 70 and me just absolutely falling in love with the magnetic daughter board and the absurd price to value. It's no surprise we see a lot of the features and tidbits trickle up into their more premium offering. We got an ungodly amount of customization from case colors, weight finishes, bezel choices, and badge sets. The QK65 V2 also retains the magnetic daughter board connectors, its dual mounting system with PCB gasket or top mount, a starting price of $160 before shipping and tax, and the unlimited pre-order date starts in December 23rd, or when you're watching this video, hopefully tomorrow. Aesthetically, the 65 has some flair to it. I have the off-white color and the coating is slightly rougher than traditional Anno, but no complaints here. It still has a pretty reference side profile, with the exception of the right side, as there is a slight protrusion with the LCD screen and this speckled starry cover, which is also carried over to the top left of the board with the indicator RGB strip. And flipping the board, we have the massive PVD stainless steel exterior weight, a center customizable badge accent, and the feet, which had a pretty neat trick for this board. At first I thought to take the board apart, you lift the cutout below the weight, since it seems like you should be able to, but no. Instead, you take out the two top feet, and this reveals a plastic latch which is holding the case together. There's 4 of these in total, and I would be a little careful since these are pretty thin plastic prongs. But once we do finally separate the case, we can see what's going on to actually power the screen and RGB strip. QK has opted to go full out with the spring-loaded pins at each connector, and this is such a sight for sore eyes, since the last board that I built with the screen tenant was not fun. I was a bit hesitant at how strong these plastic tabs would be, but they're pretty damn strong. At first, I didn't properly take the board apart, so I kind of just forced the top and bottom case to separate, and it took a considerable amount of force to break the tabs, so rest assured, it's pretty strong. And before we get to building, one thing that I really want to touch on is the thin gaskets around the top mounting points on the plate to help create like a pseudo burger mount and cut down on resonance. Just thought I should point that out. It's a nice touch. But yeah, getting back to the build, I was sent both the non-flex cut and flex cut. So we'll start with the non-flex cut PCB mount it, and we'll take it from there. Acoustically, the QK65 V2 is really strong, especially with the non-flex cut PCB, palm plate, and gasket mounted. The case is also force broken. There's really plush gaskets within the bottom case, and I can't pick up any hollowness or case ping, which is really nice to see. It definitely leans towards the higher end of the sound spectrum acoustically, and I'm pleasantly surprised. The alphas are clean and bright, the mods are present without being overbearing or muddy, and the spacebar, just sounds really good with no foam. If you did opt for the flex cut PCB, it's gonna be a bit more airy and flat even with all the case foam, but nevertheless, I would just choose the non-flex cut PCB for whatever sound profile you're striving for. I didn't notice a huge improvement in flex, but also granted I chose the Alu plate and top mount it. But yeah, my recommendation is just non-flex cut PCB. If this is a taste for what's to come in 2024, then it's honestly looking pretty promising, and I am here for it. All in all, for the starting price of $160 before shipping and tax, the strong, full sound profile, comfortable typing experience, ease of building, and the ungodly multitude of customization options makes the QK65 V2 a pretty easy recommendation for those that are trying to get maybe more of a feature-packed enthusiast level keyboard. I mean, while the price point of 65% is honestly quite heavily congested at this price point, I still think the QK65 V2 is probably one of the best bang for your bucks value-wise, apart from the Neo 65 if you were to spec that out. But taking into consideration the hierarchy between Neo and QK, it does kind of make sense why the QK offers a bit more value feature-wise. But yeah, that's kind of all I got. If you're interested in checking out the board, I'll have all the links down below. If you want to see more of my stuff, you can click on either side of my face. And yeah, have a good one, happy holidays, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.